it's the latest episode of The Ugly Truth. Guess who's back? That is right. My baby sister, Paula, is back, and we are talking about her experience getting the COVID test, as well as the UFC and our utter disappointment in last weekend's bout. Really bad. We're excited to get back to work. We've got some shows lined up this week. We have a bonus episode coming for you. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the show. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. Guess who's back? Back again. Oh, wow. I'm totally off key. Oh, my God. Wait. Guess who's back? Back. I can't do it. I can't sing like that.
What are you trying to sing?
Guess who's back? Back again. Da-da-da. Tell your friends. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I don't know. I can't think of the name of who sings it. I'm sorry.
I wish I could understand.
I ruined it.
Normally I would get that, but
never mind. I don't even know. It's older.
Street's back.
All right. But that wasn't it. Guess who's back? Tell your friend. Oh, that's Eminem. It's Eminem. It's an Eminem song. That's why.
I saw a picture. Okay, this is funny. I saw a picture of Ellen. She was like all deflated and like pale and skinny. Dude. And they're like, 2020 so bad. Look what it did to Eminem.
It's true.
I'll have to send it to you.
There is nothing left of that woman. They have taken everything from her.
You know what? This is the thing that gets me is I don't really know what these horrific working environments are.
Oh my God. I thought of you immediately, by the way, when that all went down.
They are. But I'm just like, that's so Hollywood.
Oh my God.
You know, and everyone down there is union. And so
they're mean to me. They're so mean.
They can complain. And I'm just like, okay, I'm like, they're probably all these little piddly production assistants that hold microphones or, you know, I don't know, put together sets and things like that. And she's probably sitting there arguing with her directors or producers, and they all make salaries. And they're just like, it created a hostile work environment. I'm talking to my union rep, you know.
I know.
And there probably were. And then, like, all the other talent that's been on there, you know, all the other famous people, they're like, well, she wasn't very nice to me. And I'm like, well, that's because you're a raging talent bitch, too.
That's what I'm saying.
You know? I mean, it's just like all of you famous people are assholes.
In general. I mean, sure there are choice people who are notoriously known for being kind and professional.
And if anyone truly believes that, I mean, watch the SNL skit with Kate McKinnon as Ellen. If anyone really believes that Ellen just walks around in tennis shoes, dancing all day and smiling, you know, as a mature lesbian woman, You're kidding yourself.
Well,
she's seen some shit.
Oh,
she's been through some things.
Hell, she's been through hell.
And she's a comedian. That should tell you a lot right there. Most comedians are crazy.
They are broken people.
They are broken individuals. So if she's lost her shit a few times, as long as she didn't take it out on you, then, which I'm guessing she never did.
She didn't.
Probably, they just observed it. And these generation pussy pants, I don't know what they are, you know, that complain about, you know, their $25 an hour jobs of holding a microphone, you know, part-time / you know, auditioning for, you know, B-roll boy in the corner, you know, for student film commercial. It just drives me nuts. And I'm just like, my God, is this what you have in life? You trying to destroy someone for what? Because you know what's going to happen? The show's going to get shut off. The show's going to get canceled. And then what are you going to do?
This is what I read.
Go back to your shitty one studio apartment, you know, eating Tortino's pizza rolls for dinner and breakfast and drinking, you know, water and thinking like,
wow, I probably shouldn't have done that.
You know, No, they'll be like, "Why did she have to be that way?" You know, I had
fault.
a good thing. I had a good thing going, and she
had to make it toxic.
She had to, get into her own head and ruin everything.
I swear to God,
no one has personal responsibility for anything. And I'm like, listen, you fucking mic holder.
Yeah,
who went to community college for 6 months. In the AV.
I have to say
class.
though, of course we're not, we're not talking about if somebody got like severely, hurt or harassed. I'm talking about the general complaining.
She's not Charlie Sheen or Alec Baldwin talking to their children.
Dude, okay, so I read that she's going to leave the show and that the guy who does the carpool karaoke's is going to take over.
Oh, James Corden. Giant cream puff.
Because apparently he's the new lovable Ellen, apparently. But
no, he's annoying as shit.
When I started reading all these complaints about trying to cancel Ellen, I'm like, do you motherfuckers remember what Ellen had to go through in Hollywood? She has been torn down and risen like the phoenix 3 times, thrice. Yeah. And she's going to leave this show. And I pray to the Lord above that she comes back and does stand-up and eviscerates those people in stand-up. I can't wait. I will sit there in the front row going, go Ellen, go Ellen. I mean, and she's not even my most favorite stand-up comedian, but after that shit went down, I went back to YouTube and watched all of her old stand-up. She's fucking hilarious.
She's brilliant. You know what I hope she does? I hope she retires. And I hope Portia goes out and starts acting, because she's a really good actress.
Very good. I love her.
And I hope that Ellen just sits home and plays with dogs or cats or fishes or whatever it is that she likes. I don't know what she likes to do. Yeah. And maybe writes a book or not.
You know what her book's going to be? I'm never dancing again. I'm never gonna dance again. I would love that. If she did her stand-up and came out to George Michael, I'm never gonna
that
dance
would be so
again.
Or even if she didn't do a stand-up, maybe what if she did an audience-less stand-up comedy?
I'd watch it. I'd pay to watch that.
Maybe with just like her closest friends in the audience. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yes.
To just do a stand-up comedy with like personal invitation only. And
I would love
it would be just like a fun party.
Yes.
And and then just talk about like the truth, the God honest truth. It's just like, we all know so-and-so. He's by far the biggest fucking prick in the industry. And we
take them all down with you.
Why doesn't anybody talk about that?
Burn it to the ground.
Jeffrey Epstein, we all knew.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be great?
We all knew. And we all know so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so covered it up.
This is the new Ellen.
Exactly.
I would love it.
Ellen Deep Throat.
I would fucking love it.
God, that would be hilarious if that was her book.
She's going to come out
Deep Throat because she's a lesbian.
I know. She's going to come out with her white kids and throw them into the audience. Fuck you and your white kids. I'm done.
That'd be funny if she came out in like red stilettos or something.
Oh. That would be so cool.
And a mini skirt. God,
like, this is a new me.
She'd be like, I've been practicing for weeks.
Porsche's
By the way, these are Porsches.
These are Porsche's shoes.
And Porsche's in the corner and she's like holding her hands up like, are you all right?
Do it.
I'm here. I'll catch you if you fall.
It's okay. We have nets. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that for her. So we'll see. I mean, I hope she doesn't come back to the show. I hope she says, yeah, fuck you guys.
She's just like double middle fingers like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I'm all in.
You know what? I gave you I did my best to make the world a better place. You motherfuckers turned on me. So you know what? Screw you.
I would love to, and I would say that. I would say it and walk off. I'd be like, I have more money than God.
You think I'm a bad person? Now I am. Fuck you and fuck you.
Please. I know. I just, there's always this thing that holds everyone back. Like, I could literally destroy my career. I could never do this again. I'm like, you know what? Not in this day and age. You could burn the shit to the ground and come back in 5 years and everybody would celebrate you.
You know what? The thing is if you go out in a blaze of glory like that,
yeah,
that wouldn't destroy your career.
No,
that would reignite you.
No, they'd be like, mad respect. She has told cancel culture to fuck off. I would love it. I would fucking love it.
God. Ugh. LGBTQ TV plus MA. And it's just like, no, leave me alone. What do you want? I can't get away from you people. I'm gonna go buy a ranch in, Kansas.
Anything. Good Lord. And they do. They all buy big ranches so they can hide.
Well, they just can't get away. I mean, it's just like there's no pleasing anyone.
I know. It's true.
I seriously would go buy like a mound of a hill in Iceland and just exist with ghosts in my mansion.
Yeah.
And I go do whatever Johnny Depp did. I go buy an island,
just live there.
Unless Amber Heard took half of it. I don't know what she did.
God,
Crazy
she's a cunt too.
But...
Anyway, so Paula's back, you guys. She's recovered from her illness. I mean, you're still not feeling 100%, but you're good enough that you have your humor, your biting wit is returned, your puns will soon
After
follow.
a week and a half, I'm alive, and
you have made it.
Wellish.
We're not going to go into depth because you don't really want to. I agree. It's kind of recapping illness kind of sucks. But can you, because you and I haven't really talked about it, can you give me a brief discussion of what it's like to go through the drive-through of getting a COVID test?
Yeah.
And what the nose thing, I don't even know.
Well, so here's the thing is that I felt symptomatic, and, what the weird thing about the COVID is that I think there's core symptoms.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody really is positive about what all the symptoms really are. Because I think it varies person to person.
It does. It's viral, so it depends on what's weak in your body is what it seems to attack.
Because when I was feeling sick, I had like a horrible migraine. I was really nauseous. I was totally exhausted. My body ached, and I thought I had just the flu. And then my friend, she's like, oh my God, you need to go get tested for COVID. And I'm like, but I can breathe fine. I'm not phlegmy. I'm not coughing.
Right.
And she's just like, yeah, but she's like, my husband had it and he was none of those things. And so I'm just like, really? And I'm like, I thought that was like the total,
like the
checkoff
absolute
list. If you need to be on the iron lung and, basically, and you're coughing and,
right.
I don't know. And so I looked up online and I'm like, well, where do I go do this? I have no idea. Where do I go to get? Because I don't have, when you have state insurance, you pick doctors that you can go to.
Right.
Well, I picked a doctor that I thought would be okay. It goes into effect the first of the month following you select it. I called to make an appointment. Well, come to find out, that doctor's not a family doctor. She's a pediatrician. So
okay, that's not
I
have
to select another doctor, okay. And then that will take effect the 1st of September.
Okay,
so
got it.
I could not go to my doctor because she does not see anyone over the age of 18.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of options. Like there's different people, companies, pharmacies that are doing tests.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, well, I just want to go to the one that has the fastest. And, because a lot of them are just like, well, we can see you on Thursday. And this was like, Monday. And I'm like, I don't want to wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
So I found one that had a Tuesday appointment. But here's the thing. They ask you, like, are you experiencing any of these symptoms? And so you do the checkbox, and then I hit next, and it's just like, you should seek medical treatment right away. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm like, I don't want to seek medical treatment. I just want to get the test.
I just want to know if I have it.
So I went back and unchecked a bunch of symptoms, and then I hit next, and it's just like, well, we have an appointment available on Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, good. And so I basically just lied.
Good.
And so
I'm glad you did.
My appointment was at Cal Expo.
Okay.
And so it's all go to Cal Expo, Lot D. And I was just like, oh my God. And
crazy.
So Victor drove me because I wasn't really feeling very well. And you pull in and they have like these guardrails and it's like a maze all through the parking lot. Like,
was there a lot of people?
The back 40, like where the horse race tracks are.
Was there a lot of people in line?
No.
Okay.
No. So, I mean, we're literally in an empty parking lot with like freaking... what are those dust things that come?
Yeah, the little tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds. Yeah, yes. It looked like the set of The Walking Dead, and God. I was just like, or Breaking Bad, or one of those. I don't know.
Anyone?
Yeah, I was scared. I was just like, oh my God, I'm like, zombies are gonna come jumping out.
Okay, I have to say,
our brains.
You decided to try to do a live. You did Facebook Live for a few minutes. It was like 6 minutes, and you were in line.
Until I got caught.
Your little face looked concerned. You were not thrilled.
Have you ever seen the movie Outbreak?
Yes.
Even Stephanie said that. She's like, is it like Outbreak? And I'm like, seriously, they're going to hand me like a white flag and I'm going to have to get out with a backpack and like go somewhere,
and we'll never see you again.
And I'll turn around and like a little tear full of blood will like come down my cheek and I'll be like, I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Mommy's going to be okay.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I would be worried. Anything that involves the federal government or the state, you do get a little hinky when you're handing yourself over to them in some way. It's scary.
So there's multiple checkpoints. So when you pull up, the first person, they don't want you to roll down your window. Everyone's in like a blue, suit of some sort. It's not like, like the white, space suits. But I mean, they are in like a blue, like bodysuit scrub style.
Oh, okay.
With like the surgical hat, mask, and goggles.
All right.
And you can't roll down your window. And so you just have to like smash your credentials against the window so they can read it.
Okay.
Because you have your slip and your license.
Okay.
And
so they're just confirming that you should be there.
So they check you off the list and they pass you forward. And there's a National Guardsman there, an armed National Guardsman there to make sure, I don't know, that someone doesn't try and ram the test site, I guess. Did
Victor lean over and go, "Hey, Tony, how's it going? See you tomorrow."
No, I'll tell you my story, though.
Okay.
So we get to the next checkpoint, and again, I guess they were checking the ID again or something. And then they tell us to pull into like this, I'm guessing it's like when the fair's going on, it's where they keep like the goats or the pigs or the cows or something like that. Mm-hmm. But what they did is so then the line starts and there were probably about like 10 cars. And once you pull in there, it's completely black in there because you can't see anything because it's so bright outside. So I'm just like, oh my God, we're going into the abyss.
This is terrifying.
And so then once you pull in and you can see what's going on, they have like 3 stations. It says A, B, and C.
Oh, okay.
And they're like they're like parking spots.
Okay.
And once the car goes, then the next guy tells you, okay, go to B. And so you pull into B, and then there's like a set of people there, like 4 people. And there's a National Guardsman. There's a 2 like surgical people, and then I don't know what the other guy does. He probably collects this, takes the sample, puts it in where he needs to, writes it down. So I rolled down my window. They verified my ID again and all that stuff. So they hand me like this, cut off tip of a swab thing. It kind of reminded me of like a bottle brush or like those flossers.
Yes.
But maybe a little softer.
I hope. Oh my God.
I was expecting to get my brain picked because that's what I kept hearing.
Yes.
But they said that, he's like, okay, take this. And he says, swab your nose 10 times. And he's like, go up about a half an inch. And I'm like a half inch into my nostril or a half inch up into the hole. Because you have like a hole in your nose.
Sinus cavity.
He's like, no, just go into the nostril. And so I go into the nostril and I kind of start swabbing. He's like, just up a little higher. So I'm like, okay. So I'm swabbing. I'm like, so
what's going on?
So I said, are you a part of the National Guard or are you a nurse? Or he's like, no, I'm in the National Guard. So I'm sitting here swabbing, and I know I've done it at least 10 more. I know I've done at least 10 times, but I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm like, are you a medic or yeah? He's like, I'm a medic.
He's like, can I have the thing back now?
And he's like, okay. He's like, go ahead. And so I took it out and I went to go hand it to him. He's like, no, do the other nose. And I'm just like,
with the same brush?
That's what I said. I said, with the same swab? And he's like, yeah. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, God.
I don't really want to.
And so I went to go do it, but then I was just like,
I don't think I can do it.
Well, then not only that, but then I was just like, I don't know that I can put this in my nose without looking because I'm not like ambidextrous or whatever. I don't know what the word is, but
yeah.
I had to look in the mirror as I put it in my nose because I was afraid I was just going to like poke the tip of my nose or something like that. So I put it back in. So I swabbed it. And I'm like, so is this a pretty busy or are you guys
small talk is not your strong suit,
And so, but I'm just like, why can't I just swab and go? Why do I have a conversation? I'm sitting there swabbing my nostril of my giant schnoz, talking to this guy, and he's probably thinking to me like, why the fuck is this girl talking to me?
Can you just swab your nostril, please? Hey, it's the same reason. It's the same reason why I can't not have small talk with my gynecologist.
All of us do.
Or wear a necklace in between my breasts when I'm getting a breast exam. I have to make it difficult and awkward.
When the doctor does when you get the annual and he's just like, okay, and just a quick rectal. And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, that was a little surprising.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I'd be like, well, I know you lubed up, but that still feels strange.
That was shocking.
It's just like, I don't know why I always have to lament.
We have to say something about the situation.
What I'm feeling. But then I always say, I did hear you can feel the ovaries better that way. So, I don't know why I comment about those things.
Hey, one time I told my doctor he had hands like Arsenio Hall. So,
Does he have long fingers?
No, Dr. Marshall did.
No, Arsenio Hall.
Oh, yes. Arsenio Hall had very long fingers.
I remember his knuckles being particularly white. So I just...
Well, his hands were they look like those, those toys where you can slap on the wall and they'll stick?
Yeah.
They were that long. They were very long. Very long.
I heard a horrible meme the other day.
What? Tell
me.
They're
like, you can tell a woman's ready for sex if you throw her against the wall and she sticks like a spaghetti noodle.
That's nasty. And true. Anyway.
But then I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, that's damn Skippy.
So anyway, you
the
did
swab
your
was done. He's like, all right. He's like, you'll hear in 2 to 5 days. And I'm like, okay, great. So we drove off and I was like, well, I guess that's it. So
did you feel violated in any way?
No, actually, I did when I put the swab in the second nostril. Because when I took it out, there was clearly
debris.
And my nose is always dry. So I'm just like, I'm like, I don't know what they expect to find on here. I mean,
maybe it's molecules.
I guess. God.
What?
The only thing I can think of is that, like, sometimes, like, when you're just, like, ready to go at it and, the girl is not ready, but if you probe a couple times, it'll get things ready.
Lubed up. Yeah.
It'll get ready.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, I'm like, maybe the nose is the same way. Like, if you just start, like, probing
Well, there are secretions. Oh, you know what?
Snot will produce.
I have to tell you this. The nose is considered like a sexual organ because it does, in fact, behave the same way as a vagina. So it's not wrong.
Okay, don't let that knowledge get out. I don't want anyone putting anything in my nose.
Oh my God, Paula. The
at the bar, some guys get to me like, I want to fuck her nose so bad.
Yeah, and I'd be like, yeah,
big
well, it's like I hate wet skin, so it's not happening ever.
Some guy's just rubbing the tip of his pre-cum penis on my nose.
Ooh, micro penises.
Sniff it, bitch.
Do it.
Sniff it.
Ew. Those little micro penises.
Then you just
Paula.
blow a
Paula, you could
bubble.
be the micro penis's dream come true.
Actually, I wonder if that's a category. I could create my own category and just do like pre-cum snot bubbles and like,
Mm-hmm. Paula's coming out with her own fans only account with
no pun intended. Paula's come with her own.
Happy accident. Anyway, I
wonder if that would even be a thing. Do you think people? Oh, someone would watch that. Everybody would watch it.
I would have to somehow approve it and not approve. I mean, approve of it and support you. I don't know. I'd have to
do that. Then all the women of the world with giant noses would be like, we have arrived.
We're gonna have to look this up afterwards.
I'm too afraid.
So, do you have COVID?
Well, okay, so because I lied about my symptoms, they actually tested me for COVID-2/SARS.
Okay.
And what that is it's that's what it is. They test you for COVID-2/SARS.
Yeah.
And if you test positive for that, then it typically means that you have the similar virus of COVID-19.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily. So if you test negative for that, it still doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have COVID-19.
Okay.
It just means that you don't have the COVID-2/SARS virus. But what they're saying is people who typically have that will probably have COVID-19.
Oh, okay. So I see.
It's like a preliminary test, I guess, and that's why they test people who are asymptomatic with that test.
Oh,
and so it's their way to rule out like, no, you don't have it.
Okay.
If you're symptomatic, they would give you an actual COVID-19 test. And so because I lied just to get a quick test.
You did not get the official
I did
COVID-19.
not actually get a COVID-19 test. So although my test came back negative,
yes,
they do say even if your test comes back negative, it would have to be reviewed with the doctor if you have symptoms, etc., to really determine,
so if
it's a negative.
If you really believe that you truly had coronavirus or COVID, you would probably take that test, go to a hospital, and get a real COVID test if you were super symptomatic.
Right. I would
Which is what they would want you to do anyway.
Which I probably should, look, in hindsight, if I was really genuinely concerned based on the symptoms I had, I probably should have just gone to like an emergency room and gotten
the
tested,
COVID test,
based on the symptoms that I had. Sure. But, I didn't. I was, and the other thing too is no one in the house was really displaying any other symptoms.
You were the only one.
So it was just me. And I had some other outside things going on. I had some new medication things and
so
I was just
like a combo.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm like, I could just very well, God forbid, have the flu. And so
people still get sick. I mean, people still get stuff. So
I know it's possible that there are other just bacterias out there right now.
It's true. Well, so, I have to be honest, and then we're going to move on. But I have to be honest. I was sick to death, worried. I kept, at first,
I know you were.
At first, I was like, you know what? She probably just has, the migraine can. I even told producer Dub, I said, well, migraines can cause all kinds of things, nausea. I've thrown up. I've done the whole thing, but you weren't getting better. You told me you had the fever, and I was just like, it was the day before you told us the results, and I was up and I couldn't sleep, and I had broken out in hives. And Joe goes,
no.
He goes, what's wrong with you? And I go, at first I was being really flippant about it, but I'm fucking terrified. If she has it, she's the weak link of the four of us. She's going to end up in the fucking hospital, and I'm not going to be able to see her. And then I've got to fight over her children. I've got to fight for her health. And it's like, I'm so terrified that she's going to be alone that I can't even. And I have to tell you, really opened up my eyes to the people who have legit had people in the hospital. It's so scary to think that something could have happened to you to that level that, like when you were joking about how you're going to have Victor be your health person, I was like, I was like losing it. I was so afraid. But
well,
so
I only said that because I'm just like, I know Mom's going to try and guilt you all into getting me killed somehow.
She's like, listen, if we allowed Mom to come into your hospital room, something's not going right.
She'd
it's bad.
To pull the plug or have me refuse some kind of medication. And I'm just like, I know that she would feel some sort of responsibility to guilt you both. I said, but Victor's like Stonewall Jackson. He'd be like, I'm not doing anything. Who are you?
Never do anything. But anyway, so on a selfish note, I'm relieved that you're feeling better.
I am.
Regardless of what it was.
But I'm not going to lie, you guys. I felt like shit.
Oh, I mean, Stephanie.
And I'm not a weakling. When I get sick, I can pretty much power through just about anything, but I really felt like shit last week.
You were so sick. I know you were. Oh, by the way, your chicken soup should be there tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I sent you a case of chicken soup.
Of course, I finally made my chicken soup, and I made enough to feed an army. So
I know. Well, that's good too, though. You can freeze it. Yeah. All right. So after all of that, and now we're feeling a little bit better. We also, and I know you did, we watched last night's UFC 252, which was DC's, it seems, his last fight in the UFC.
I hope so. Yeah.
Oh, dude, me too. I thought that the card in general, I thought was okay. I wasn't super enthusiastic, but the Sugar Show guy, I don't know how you feel about him. He was 12-0. So, but he had some significant injuries, I think, prior to the fight, and he tried to push through it, and he re-injured himself.
So I don't know if you guys watched any of like the embedded shows and everything. I know you don't usually.
I didn't this time, no. I do sometimes, but I didn't this week, no.
Okay, so we do. Here's the thing with that guy. He had
Matt
very
O'Malley,
much,
right? O'Malley?
Yeah, Sean O'Malley. he very much had like a Conor McGregor mentality. Like,
that's because he wanted to be like him.
Completely immortal.
Yeah.
No one can beat him. He's the shit.
Yep.
His right hand is a killer. You know, he's going to be the man. And I told Ryan, and he's just like, well, he's fantastic, Mom. And I said, okay, Ryan, I said, I get that. You know, he's cocky as shit, all that stuff.
Very confident.
And I said, you know, even like this time he dyed his hair the color, which I didn't get. I'm like, is that like a burn or something? I'm not understanding. But he dyed his hair the color of the other guy's flag.
Oh.
But
that's
I don't
not very cool.
I don't understand why that's a big deal, though.
Well, it's just...
I mean, if I saw him, I'd be like, nice fucking hair. You know, like whatever.
Okay,
like,
unicorn. Anyway.
I just would have been like, what is the point of that? Is that
I literally didn't know that. It wouldn't have even occurred to me.
But he did it, and if I saw him, I'd be like, what is that supposed to do something to me? Like,
yeah, it doesn't do anything.
I'd be like, yay, LGBTQ, thank you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, like, what? Okay, like, oh, burn. Yeah, no, okay. Anyway, so... He because it was a very colorful, like, rainbowish flag. It was Ecuadorian.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I told Ryan, I said, here's the problem, Ryan. I said, most men in their 20s think they're immortal.
Yeah, he's 25.
I said, but someone like him, I said, he literally thinks like he will live forever, win forever, and no one can beat him.
That is,
and I said,
that's the warrior phase, and all young men go through it.
And I said it's very much like a Conor McGregor, a Ronda Rousey, they build this up in their mind, or someone builds this up in their mind that they're unbeatable. I said what will happen is I said someone will beat him. And Ryan's like, well, no one's ever beat Khabib. I said, Khabib is a freak of nature. And I said, he will retire undefeated soon, I believe.
Or he'll fight too long and get, his jaw will do what all 36-year-old MMA fighters do, and it'll turn to glass.
He's too smart. He won't do that.
I hope he doesn't.
Khabib has so much money. He gets paid so much money.
Yeah.
I said, he doesn't even need it. And you know what? I don't think he fights necessarily for the money. I think he just...
Oh, no. He's got vendettas.
I think he will grow tired of it and just be like, I'm kind of done now.
He already said he was. He already said, he goes, I don't really know what more I need to prove. He's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I've done it all.
And I don't think he has an interest in changing weight classes.
No.
I mean, I think he's just kind of like, I'm just, he's going to be one of those people like in Forrest Gump where he's just like, well, I'm kind of tired now. I think I'm going to go home after he's got 50 people running with him, and they're just like, what do we do now? He's like, well, I don't know.
I think you're right.
So anyways, but that's what I told Ryan. I said, but the other people, I'm like, they eventually lost. I said, and when they lost, I said, it broke them.
It did.
I said, it absolutely broke them. I said, after Conor lost, I said, then he kept losing. And I said, he tried to reinvent himself so many times. I said, but he just never could.
Nope.
I said, and it affected his personal life.
Yeah.
It affected his image. I said, then he went around and started punching old people in bars.
In Florida.
Through guardrails in buses at other MMA fighters.
It's true.
Ronda Rousey said she was suicidal for 30 seconds in the emergency room, and told that story to like 50 different outlets, and everyone's just like, oh, we support you. And I'm like, fuck off, and it's just, and then she started modeling for Sports Illustrated. She did a really shitty movie, and then she thought she was going to do WWE. Now she's all vegan on a farm with her domestic violent husband, and they said they want to have babies, but I mean, I'm like, people lose their shit, Ryan. I'm like, they really do.
Well, what happens is when they, I think that it's not just limited to UFC fighters, but when anybody believes their own bullshit and they drink their own Kool-Aid,
right? Getting
humbled just can destroy you. I mean, look at Anne Hathaway. I mean, she's a talented actress, but couldn't market a movie to save your life anymore because she believed it.
Well, and the thing is like Anne Hathaway, she's just not that good, and that's the thing with Conor and Ronda. They really weren't. They were good, but they weren't that good.
Well,
they had cracks. They had flaws.
They had flaws.
And it was just a matter of time before it got exposed. And so I told Ryan, I said, this Sean O'Malley guy, Ryan, I said, he will lose at some point. I said, and when he does, I said, it will absolutely break him.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he lost last night, which I didn't anticipate happening. And Ryan was just stunned. He's just like, I can't believe that happened, because he believed he would never lose.
Well, what's funny is when we were watching it, the commentators, I don't know if you remember this, but they were all a bit concerned about his movement because he wasn't acting like he normally does.
Well, he had a leg problem.
He went in injured and didn't want to pull out of the fight. And I think that's legit what happened. And so when he kicked and the other guy checked it, I think it was over. And he even fell. I mean, he even fell down because I think the pain was so severe, he probably just couldn't believe it.
But you know what the thing is, though, is like, yeah, I know the leg was a problem, but the guy punched him in the face.
Oh,
and so I don't necessarily know that. I mean, yeah, I'm sure the leg rattled him, but he got knocked out. So, I mean,
yeah.
And he still had his right hand available. So
I just don't think it was. I agree. I think he was humbled.
He wasn't on his game.
No,
and
it happens.
And like I said, it rattled him.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that happened with Ronda in her last fight with Amanda Nunes. Oh. She was trying to go to what she knew. She wasn't blocking. She wasn't doing what she was to do. Amanda was just punching her in the face repeatedly. And it was almost like it was too easy.
She's like, did you even try?
Like, can you just block your face once?
I mean, I'm feeling bad.
I know you keep trying to grab my neck, but I'm going to punch you every time you put your hands up there.
I wonder if Amanda Nunes is like Khabib. Like, I
think she is.
I wonder if she'll just decide.
I mean, I've seen the only person I've ever seen give her a really, really hard time is something Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko.
Yes. They went 5 rounds.
And Valentina, she is like her kryptonite. She is tough. But I kind of feel like that's how Misha Tate was to Ronda Rousey.
Agreed. But never ever got her, though. But never actually got her.
You know why? I think it's because Misha Tate, she let Ronda get into her head. And
she did.
After Ronda lost, Misha got the belt.
She did.
And but then she lost to Amanda Nunes, which is not
Amanda. Oh my God.
Everybody lost to Amanda.
Well, what's funny is I remember when Misha said that, she goes, I've never been hit that hard in my life. I mean,
she's like, I've never been hit that hard before by a woman. Ever.
Oh, well, that's telling. Anyway, yeah. So I think O'Malley Sugar will come back. Hopefully he'll be a different kid because he's only 25, and I'm hoping that he can learn from that and then also heal properly.
Well, and the other thing too I noticed about him is he was doing a little showboating too, and I'm like, he's going to come back like an Anderson Silva. He's going to be like a geriatric, aerobic instructor, trainer fighter, and it's going to be boring. And when Ryan's like, he's ranked, he's only ranked number 14.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh God, I'm like, he didn't even get up there yet.
No, this was his chance to go through a veteran who had something to prove. And it didn't work out. So
he's going to be like a Johnny Walker, and he
might be fun to watch fight, but he's never going to be like belt worthy necessarily.
Well, he burnt out too quick. So
yeah, that happens.
We'll see.
Okay. So then I know there were other fights, but I really want to talk about the DC fight. Mm-hmm. I thought that I hate the way they were. They were saying Miocic or something.
Miocic.
I thought it was Miocic. But it didn't sound like they were pronouncing it that way, and I'm like, am I saying it? Have I been saying it wrong?
It's Miocic.
Yeah. I think I used to say
Stipe
Miocic. I think I was saying Miocic because of the C. I think I wasn't using the ch on it. But anyway, I thought he looked really good. Like, he looked really prepared.
He was very lean.
I thought so too. Really lean. DC looked like DC. Yeah. And what I love about Cormier, and I was never not a fan of his. I remember people not liking him because of John Jones. And I never understood that because he's such a stand-up dude, and they tried so hard to make him the villain. And I just don't remember it sticking. He is so unassuming. When he comes in, everybody goes, oh, look at this short, fat little barrel of a man. And it's like, he's like that uncle at the barbecue that wrestles all the youngsters. And he's he's fearlessly beating them up and kicking their ass. And he's so damn strong, and you can't even believe it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, what did you think?
It was really hard for me to watch.
Did you hide in the backyard and stick your head through the sliding glass door?
The first round, we had the blinds open. I was in the backyard smoking a cigarette, and because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
But once I saw that like it was good. Like they were pretty equally matched. I was like, okay, I'm going to go inside and watch. But, you know, we all know what happened. You know, we all saw
the eye
everything
poke.
that happened. We saw the eye poke. Stipe got his eye poked, got time to recover. Doctor came and looked. Everything was fine. DC got his eye poked. Ref didn't see it and
said it was a
so
punch.
There was no time to recover. Stipe paused because he saw that, you know, Daniel said he got his eye poked. So I think Stipe knew he poked his eye because actually after he poked his eye, he followed up with a right hook and DC dodged it. And so he hit him in the neck. Doctor never came to look at the eye during the whole fight.
Nope.
Ref never asked Doctor to come look at the eye the whole fight. And
I mean, seriously, I was watching it going, his eye is looking in a different direction. How are they not stopping this?
So, and then the scores alone by the judges were just insulting.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and then at the conclusion, Stipe saying, you know, look who's the best of all time or the greatest of all time or blah, blah, blah. And so this was my thoughts. When they were interviewing Cormier at the end, you know, because he left, I didn't blame him.
No. Well, they interview them. They interview them on a side now. They don't do it in the ring anymore.
But you know, because he was retiring, I thought they would have done him a solid to let him do something. But
he left.
You know,
he just walked off, though.
I don't blame him. Because
I agreed. I agree. It was very disappointing.
And so this is how I feel. I don't even think he shook Stipe's hand, to be honest. And
at the end.
No, I don't think he did, and I don't blame him. See, this is when he was talking to Joe.
Yeah,
I could tell it was more than disappointment, and this is this is what I gathered. You know, DC has done so much for the UFC.
He's been an ambassador,
as far as championing them.
Yeah.
He has been through so much for that fucking company.
They did him dirty.
The John Jones bullshit they put him through.
Yep.
Has been relentless. John Jones has been by far the dirtiest, nastiest piece of shit fighter that has ever come from that company, in my opinion, both professionally and personally. I do not see the value in him.
Sure.
I don't see any good from him. I don't know why people love him so much. I can barely stand him as an individual. He disgusts me. He absolutely disgusts me.
Yeah.
And so every time he talks, it's just like it makes me want to scrape my chest off because I don't see why someone like him feels like they have any room in the world to have a breath because he's such a vile human being. And so when he talks down to DC, I'm like, DC is such an upstanding human being, both in the octagon and
outside.
How do you even feel like you're even remotely close to being to his level to even attempt to insult him, let alone speak to him?
Well, anyway, so as far as the UFC goes, you thought they did him dirty.
I felt like they made him go through that, but then not only that, you know, he had been cheered and jeered for so long. And he was a two-division champion defending the belts, you know? And last night, he got injured. The ref never once stopped the fight. And you can't tell me that ref has never seen an injured eye like that before.
It was insanely obvious. It was
but he never
obvious.
once stopped the fight to have a doctor come look at it.
Do you think that, let's just say in a different world, had he noticed that and looked at the eye, had a doctor come in, what if they had stopped the fight? Would that
They would have stopped the fight.
Yeah. But
they would have stopped the fight. But you know what? If that had been if that had happened, I highly doubt DC would retire because he would never go out on that note. Never.
Oh.
He would never do that to Stipe, ever.
Oh, I see.
He would refuse to go out like that. But the thing is that fight needed to be stopped because Stipe knew that eye was fucked up and he kept using it to his advantage.
Well, yeah, that's what you do.
Exactly. But the thing is he was missing a piece of eyelid.
I know.
And so that ref, he knew that eye was fucked up. He never once stopped the fight to have the doctor look at it. And then 2, when he was in his corner, no doctor ever even came up to look at that eye.
That's surprising.
And you mean to tell me a doctor couldn't tell from his seat that there was something wrong with that eye?
Well, I mean, do you think, so I guess my question is, do you think that they just wanted to get the fight through, give Stipe the belt, and move on with their lives?
No, what I think is I don't know what the intent was last night, but between the scores, the reffing, the doctor, Stipe poking him in the eye, knowing he poked him in the eye, and then capitalizing on that, and then they at the end having the audacity to say that he's the champ and he's the greatest, knowing that he's a big fucking cheat. And I'm just like, and then everyone just moving on and saying, well, who's up next? Nagano. Bone says he wants to go to heavyweight, and Dana's just like, really? Oh, I'd love to see that. And then Dana's saying, like, well, what about the eye poke? And then Dana's just like, well, he poked Stipe in the eye, so Stipe, poked him in the eye, so, it's even. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I have never seen such a disgusting view of disrespect for someone in a sport in my whole life. And
they tend to, and you know what I've noticed is they do tend to do that to the UFC legends. They don't really give them a whole lot of pomp and circumstance when they leave. It's kind of like, oh, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Next.
But you know what? It wasn't even like the send-off. It was just the way they treated him in the fight.
I almost feel like, I agree.
Like, and when Stipe got poked in the eye, okay, first of all, Stipe ran into DC's fingers. I don't know if you watched that.
I did.
DC didn't poke him in the eye. Stipe ran into his fingers.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they stopped the fight, gave Stipe time to recover, and they had the doctor come look at it. Okay.
Well, you know what? The first clue that we figured something was not going to be right was the fact that Herb Dean didn't do the fight, and neither did
you know
the
what?
other guy.
We thought the same thing.
We were very surprised.
Ryan's just like, that's really weird. That Herb is because he was doing the. Did he do the Sean O'Malley fight? Yeah.
He did the
Ryan's just like, oh, that's weird. He's doing the Sean O'Malley fight.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I said maybe because it's a heavyweight. I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, Herb's done heavyweights all the time.
Well, Daryl was saying that there is a ref that's really good at heavyweight fights, but he didn't do it either, and I can't remember his name. Not Michael.
Is it the guy with the beard braids?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, me neither. But apparently, Daryl said the same thing. He goes, well, maybe it's because it's a heavyweight and they have that other guy that does heavyweights. And then when we saw the guy that came out, we were both like, what? That's weird.
Well,
that's a weird choice.
They've been having these really shitty British refs lately, and Ryan and I were just talking about that because the couple fights that they had at Yaz Island, I'm like, they had a bunch of shitty British refs, and I'm like, I don't know who they are. I said, but I'm like, they were lousy, and
yes, they were.
And then at the end of the fight, Mark Goddard watched the instant replay. He walked up to Cormier and he says, you know what? He's like, I saw it. He did poke you in the eye. He's like, I apologize. I was wrong.
Tell that to my blind eye.
And as of today, this morning, Daniel has a torn cornea.
Yes.
And he may or may not need surgery.
Yeah, they have to wait it out, is what I read that as well. And that's shocking that he fought with that. I'm hopeful. Well, first of all, I'm never hopeful because the UFC, they do not do their fighters well. They don't treat them well. And so they treat them like not property, but they just treat them like, money makers. They don't look at them like they're allowed or they need to be given the respect and a due that they deserve. Joe was trying not to cry. He was really emotional about DC leaving
he said
like
something
this.
that really pissed me off. So
yeah, it was really disappointing. I was like, this is unacceptable because other than the old school guys before you and I were watching, other than those titans of the UFC, DC is probably the number one ambassador for the UFC, and he has done everything that Dana has asked. Everything. And now it was just really weird.
It wasn't even about the send-off. It was just about the basics. He didn't even get the basics during the fight.
It was an outrage.
That was so fucked up.
It was on purpose, Paula.
You guys weren't even giving him the basics. Like,
totally on purpose.
You set him up to fail.
Yep.
And you almost set him up to get hurt. Like, really hurt.
Yeah.
Bad.
It almost felt like a mafia fixed fight. Like,
it was awful, Jamie.
Yeah.
It was awful. And you know what? This morning, I was so angry last night. I knew you were. Because
you didn't post anything.
I didn't even know. I was at a loss for words because I can't understand people who treat people like that.
Yep.
And the thing is that, you know, there's a lot of forums I belong to, and everyone's just like, oh, DC's been poking eyes for years, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, okay, you know.
So he gets the eye poke of all eye pokes tonight. Anyway, all right. So that's the end of that. You know, mad respect to DC in our house. I hate it when things end this ugly, but it ended. And I hope, although you probably feel differently, I mean, I think he's such an amazing commentator that I would love to see him commentate. And it doesn't just have to be UFC. I could see him commentating the Olympics. I could see him commentating wrestling. Anything. He could do anything. He's so smart, and he knows the sport so well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he decides to do. I hope he has a nice, healthy baby that's coming, and I hope that his little eye is healing and will heal, and he doesn't need surgery because that sounds terrible.
I hope he walks away from the UFC and never speaks to anyone again. I mean, other than his friends. But you know what? I hope he gives Dana White the double fingers and walks away from all of it.
Yeah.
I hope he sees John Jones in a parking lot and just beats the fucking shit out of him one day. Just
he probably could.
With a couple of his friends. They see him in the parking lot by themselves, and he's just like, well, look who's here.
Well, you know? well.
How you feeling, Bones?
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I think that's it for today.
I do too.
I'm really glad that you are feeling better, and we have some exciting ideas for the show coming up, which we're getting back to our true selves. We're done being depressed, and I'm excited about that. And I think that's it.
I do too. We're going to be positive.
I've had 10 Red Bulls, and now we're going to be positive. All right.
Everybody have a good rest of your weekend. Stay cool. Hope everything's going good with your distance learning. And we'll see you on Wednesday.